Hello and Ashe. Today I would like to do a book review about the Conjure Workbook Volume 1, Walking the Route by Starr Casas. And I'm sorry if I'm reading this wrong or killing your name, but English is not my first language, you can forgive me. Anyway, this is the book. It's by Pendrake Publications, and people should watch for Pendrake Publications. They have pretty good stuff. People should read more Pendrake than they should read Llewellyn, and they have some interesting stuff, especially if you're interested in traditional witchcraft, in specific flavors of witchcraft. They add their dead dad every once in a while, but if you read reviews on Amazon's, you would see precisely what's in there. Okay, so let's just read the table of contents. Forward, warning, introduction, ancestors. She starts with the ancestors, and voodoo-wise, this is okay, that is a very good sign, okay? Altars, the Bible in Conjure, prophets and saints, people, you are, okay, even if you're Christians or Jewish or even Muslim in origin, you can't really ignore the people that birthed your people, even if you're pagan. It's like, you can't go and say, Moses didn't exist and he's not like a spirit that has its own energy. So it's an interesting read, even if you don't practice it. So there are a lot of Christian magic material here, like Moses the Conjurer, worker prophets, the prophet Elijah, the prophet Isaiah, the prophet Joshua, Songs of Solomon, Mother Mary, Saint Peter, Saint Martha, Saint Michael, Saint Lucy the Lightbringer, Saint June, Saint Ramon, which all have, by the way, their voodoo corresponding and synchronized spirits. Okay, and then she talks about divination, psychometry, traditional bone reading, and people are starting to pick up bone reading again, which is a good thing. Working with Lama Dama, and you know what? I think this is the only book that I have ever says something about Lama Dama. It's not that I have plenty of Conjure books. But do you know other Conjure books that speak about Lama Dama? This interests me. Bibliomancy, card reading, the pendulum, automatic writing and scrying. And it's good that you have all those options for divination here, because not everybody is connected to everything. Walking by the clock. Okay, she has walks that are with the arms of the clock. When the arms are up, it's summoning. When they are down, it's vanishing, and it's very interesting. Walking stuff by the hours. And this is, I think that, traditional wizards that would go and do something in the planetary day, in the planetary hour, you find this as somewhat a softer, interesting version, and I haven't seen that anywhere else. And of course, this is one of the new things that I was taught by this book. Walking with the spirit, the crossroads spirit, to remove a person, crossroads protection, crossroads money drawing, to bring love to you. And, those are basically abbreviated Papa Legba words. I don't remember if she mentions it or not, but, it's an interesting thing. Bottles and containers, blue bottles and medicine bottles, honey jar, container conjure, hoodoo honey versus syrup or sugar, mirror boxes. And it's very important to know how to make a mirror box for, all those people that just keep a jar of graveyard dirt in their kitchen. You don't need death energy next to your food. It's not good for you. You need to be able to put aside and contain the stuff of your negative work. candles and lamps, and it's also very good that she's talking about lamps and not just candles, because all those gasoline lamps and hurricane lamps are back in fashion now, and you can get them for cheap anywhere, and you can use them for conjure, and it's a pity that we don't, because basically this is, those things have a fashion, and if this fashion is back, know how to work it. Chalk, using chalk in conjure, another thing that I haven't seen written on anywhere else. Mojo and packets, conjure bags, conjure bag recipes, conjure packets, and she gives you a few recipes for oils and for bags, and she puts it aside. Conjure oils, okay, she gives you like 6 recipes of conjure oils, and those are simple oils, like a free ingredient oils that you could make, and she tells you how to make them, and it's closer to the traditional system of like saturating herbs in oil, and in her case you pray on each ingredient even individually, and you put it in a bottle, and you put the oil and you pray on the bottle, and you let it like stand in front of a candle consecrated for its purpose for a week. And she's like, she doesn't mind that the oils are not very much scented, because she likes the espionage, hiding what the oil contains stuff, and she likes, not to overpower her own perfume, which I think it's basically wise, because you need the energy of the root in the oil, you don't necessarily need everything else. In my tradition, we propagate oil, herbs in the oil for 3 months, because we do want the oil to be somewhat scented, and the 3 months is like, the Eshu magical pregnancy of the oil. But this is my tradition, this is her tradition, I respect her tradition, I think her tradition is much wiser than go and shop for expensive shishi essential oils and make something because you need it now and not letting it propagate properly. Which you can do in the case of an emergency, but why wait for cases of emergency? Have everything prepared in advance. This is why you are witches, right? Divination, seeing the future. Seeing the card tower in the tarot doesn't go and make you run and make firewall protection or some holy water and stuff. Okay, I don't know. Powders and dirt. Powder recipes. Dirt in conjure work. Collecting dirt, graveyard dirt, protection powder, burning in the yard, and she also, has this nice thing where she's talking about graveyard dirt used not only as for hexing, and that's a good thing, even though I've seen it somewhere else. Waters and washes, tinctures. By the way, in the conjure oils, she also talks about base oils, like the use of lard and olive oil, and different kind of old-fashioned cooking oil that many people are not using today, but they have different property. Or things like tar oil or cod liver oil, and all sorts of things that was used in the past, and we can use them again. And again, it was a unique thing. So I counted more than 3 things that will need to be. She talks about rooms, she talks about conjure balls, another thing that you don't find information in everywhere. Chicken feet. Also, she gives you a ritual of how to consecrate a chicken feet. Dollies, how to make magical dollies, naming a doll baby, stick dolls, clay dolls, and stick dolls I haven't necessarily seen anywhere else. Making a wax doll, how to make how to dry an apple head, how to make an apple head for a doll, and I've seen those sold in all sorts of traditional witch things, traditional witch dolls that you put in the kitchen that could be like Gran Igbo in the more New Orleans area. Love conjure balls, a little of this and that, how to write a petition, laying down tricks, other resources, index, and about the author. And this is not a small book, it's almost 300 pages thick. And she talks about, how to make a candle, when you want to do a summoning candle, you roll it towards you 3 times, or when you banish, you roll it away from you 3 times. And she suggests prayers. And she shows you her altars. It's black and white, but it adds to the charm of the book. And also, she gives you all sorts of adages and proverbs, like a black candle will protect you, a white candle can kill you. And you see that she's bringing a chunk of her own unique tradition, but she does it also placing herself as a teacher of that tradition, meaning, she's not only, many people who write books out of their own tradition don't take a teacher's responsibility about writing those things in their books. But she takes it. She becomes like your mini teacher. This is, very friendly and motherly. If you read Harry Potter, she's almost like Molly Weasley. It's like almost like Molly Weasley sat down and wrote a book because she wants to teach her children the traditional magic of her family. And it's a very basic book, but it's a very good introductory book. Meaning, if you want to start into hoodoo, and you think that hoodoo magic is good for you, and you want to not read the specific subject of hoodoo, but a good introduction and see what is good for you and what do you already have in your tradition that you don't need. This is for instance, if I have Papa Legba in my tradition, I don't think that I need to go and talk to the Christian spirit of the crossroads that is synchronized with him to do those rituals. Okay, but every change that you're doing, if you're doing something that needs to be preserved, the tradition and precise, perform divination beforehand. So approach this book and any other witchcraft book with a system of divination already in hand. I have some criticism of this book. She has a problem teaching you how to hex. But and it has a good side and a bad side. The good side, and I will read to you a little bit out of this book, is that she teaches you some things like how to make a confusion conjure ball, for instance. Here, let me read this to you. There are times when we need to get control of a situation. This could be a troublesome person on our job or someone who just keeps dogging us. For this conjure ball, you will use crawdad mud, which is, probably mud from a crawfish nest, but use clay if you don't have it. Get a photo of the target and burn it to ash. Mix it with the crawdad mud. Make it into a patty and paste a nail in the center. Then add sulfur, gunpowder, black mustard seeds, a dried habanero pepper pod. Roll the patty into a ball. Make sure that you're making your petition against your target as you're making the conjure ball. Set the ball on a plate and poke a black stick candle into the center of the conjure ball. Keep the heat until you get your results. Then you can throw the conjure ball in a graveyard or in running water. So I think it's a useful thing. It has strong, explodey, purificatory, hexing things. Black mustard seeds. They could she doesn't say it here, but you can make a horrible hex with it to give your victim diarrhea. Constant diarrhea. If you manage to consecrate it and put it secretly in their food. Okay, you can make their stomach burn. So, it's a nice red hex. The chicken feet, she talks about the chicken feet, and, it actually have a Christian conjuration to the chicken feet, which reminds me the little hand pointer things that they use in Judaism of reading the Bible. There is even a picture of a chicken feet on the Bible. I think this is very tre hoodoo. Okay, but when she talks about, gopher dust, she doesn't give you the recipe. And she says this is because of her own responsibility. She doesn't want those recipes to fall in the wrong hands. Which, on the one hand, it's hello. It's published everywhere. Everywhere. Okay? There are recipes for gopher dust everywhere, and those are efficient and deadly and scary recipes. Maybe you have a recipe that is different from the recipes everywhere, but, it couldn't be different by much. It was all made by this, it was a standard condition dust. So, it's everywhere. But on the other hand, she really she understands how magic is powerful and it's working, and she just doesn't want to give people a loaded gun, which is a very responsible thing from her. So I'm a bit ambivalent about this choice. But, I think this is a classic. This is a classic in the making. This is volume 1. I would buy volume 2, 3, 4, and 15 if need be, but I need everything. Now, she published other books about, divination in cards and, like, walking in the barnyards, or maybe I'm mixing that up with something else. But I don't need more divination. I need more this. I need more, like, traditional conjure. I need more, if she can make, like, a book, Starr Casas, I gave you, like, the best criticism and the best, the best respect about this book that I could give on my channel. I only gave you, like, and I'm talking directly to you. I want volume 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want all of it. Or everything that you could publish and that would be safe in the public's hand. All the recipes, for packets and lamps and, and family stories if need be, and, family stories that you tell and you can, like, take recipes out of. And, like, like my teacher is telling this story about, someone getting bullied and her grandmother making 81 herb oil for Oya to make that person be scared and go away. Okay, that is a story with a recipe. And, all the oils, I want all of them. I want everything you have that you can give us. So, if you can make, like, a specific oil book, if you can make, like, a specific doll book, that would be marvelous. I think that those would succeed greatly. And, if those would be sold to the right audience or be in the right, and you make the right workshop, this book is bound to get a great success. So this is a hidden pearl. People get it. Don't tell me, don't go and say I didn't tell you this exists. Goodbye, Nasher.